Welcome back to Narrating British Porn. And here we go. Over the top. Brilliant move. Brilliant. Look at that muck. Look at the size of that cock. He's got a hell of a cock. Look at that cock. It's a girthy cock. My God. Look at the size of that girth. Dear God. That's larger than the cucumber I bought this morning and shoved up my ass. Dear God, that's a cock. I'm sorry, I can't do it anymore. I can't. Wouldn't that be funny? Was it just me? That's funny, right? That would be hilarious. I would love to have a soft tone British man narrate like really aggressive porn. This isn't the Great British Porn Bake Off. This is actually Kicking It with Kaz, episode 25. Crazy enough. Right? Nuts. I know. You clicked on it, but you didn't know. This isn't a British show. We don't like fish and chips here. This is an American show through and through where we like shitty reality TV and AR-15s. Unregulated AR-15s, actually, to be specific. Yeah, that's it. That's actually what I asked for Christmas because I'm so fucking American. That's what I asked for Christmas. I told my mom, listen, she goes, what do you want for Christmas? I go, I want an AR-15. Okay, loaded with Alec Baldwin's signature, and then I want hand grenades. And I go, but one of them connected to the bow on the package, so that when I pull it, I only have 3 seconds to throw it outside. And if I don't, and then it's like, well, that might kill you. Yeah, if I don't get to the package in time, then it was my day to die. Because if you can't get to the package in time, then you're not American. If you don't hear that tick, and you don't know what hit you. Again. Oh my God. So speaking of unregulated AR-15s and shitty reality TV, that sounds like a fantastic show. I'd watch the fuck out of that. Can you imagine that, like Jersey Shore, but they were all just like Mafia Shore. This would be, oh my God, it would be amazing. You just walk in. Did you gobble Tony's balls last night? Huh? Look at me. Hey, look at me. Did you gobble? Did you slob on Tony's knob in the back of a limousine? Maybe I did, Vinny. Maybe I know. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. All I ever do is give. Vinny, but you were in the strip club last night. That doesn't fucking count. I paid them. It's different. There was an exchange of goods. The only goods you exchanged were his balls in your mouth and his dick in your ass. That would be a good show, would it not? I would watch it. That would be fun, right? I could picture it now on the news, or not on the news, but on the on a commercial. They're like, next weekend, Mafia Shore is back with brand new AR-15s and special guest Alec Baldwin. The commercial is like Alec just waving around a loaded assault rifle, and everyone's like, whoa! Whoa! This isn't a movie set, Alec. Whoa, man, put the gun down, brother. I don't know why they went from Italian to fucking like surfer dude. I don't have a lot of my impressions. They kind of mishmash together, but it is what it is. But then like wait, I'm not done. Alec goes on the show, and then the next week on the news, this is what you would see. They would go, Mafia Shore, a respected American television show about to start its 3rd season until it tragically came to a halt when every member of Mafia Shore was murdered in cold blood. Not, surprisingly enough, not because of the fact that all their nutritional needs were met through Miller Lite and Hot Pockets, but the way that they went out, Alec himself. I'm just kidding around. That's enough of that. We don't need to. Which, by the way, if anybody's mad at that, I hate when people are like, "It's too Anthony." That's too soon. No, it's not. It was last year. It was last year. That's the only time I'll ever allow that. Okay. That's the only time I'll ever allow that, because I absolutely hate and despise it when somebody walks up to me and they're like, right? Say I saw them the day before. Actually, those people aren't even the worst. The absolute worst people, and I have cut these people completely out of my life because I actually I never became more enraged in a singular moment than when this happened. There was one New Year's Eve where I was out at a party somewhere, and then the ball dropped, and then I saw somebody, the ball dropped, right? And then I went to a different party to someone else's house, right? Like after 12, it was like maybe 1. It was somebody else's house. They were still having a party going. So I go over there and I see someone, and I just saw them the other day. And they go, "Oh my God, man, I haven't seen you since last year. The ball dropped an hour ago." I wanted to take this person by the throat, wring their fucking neck like a wet dish rag, and go, "You should have been swallowed," and then slam their head into a brick wall. That's what I wanted to do, but instead of letting my rage get the best of me, I just cut them simply out of my life because I don't need to associate with fucking morons and dipshits. Speaking of idiots, this time of year, there's always these type of people that come around. They come, right? Every single year. And not these type of people, just people in general. A lot of people in general do this, and it bothers the living fuck out of me. These people, when the new year begins, every single year when the new year begins, I'll see it on TikTok, I'll see it on Twitter, I'll see it on Instagram, I'll see it anywhere where somebody thinks they have a voice, where somebody thinks that they had a thought, so I'm going to share it with the world. Sometimes you don't have to share every little thought inside your head. And by the way, if some of you are sitting there and you go, "Anthony, isn't that a little bit hypocritical?" You're right, it is, but I'm still going to say whatever I want, so suck my dick. But these people, every single year, it's almost like they don't have a brain. They go on the internet and they go, "Did anybody else notice that when the ball dropped, you all got a little sick?" And then it has like 1 million likes, and everyone in the comments is like, "Oh my God, I am also sick right now, but it's not COVID." Like, what could it be? It's a cold. It's the winter. It fucking, are you okay? Hey, Mr. PH dipshit, are you fucking stupid? All these people, they're like, "What could it be?" I don't know, maybe that the weather's getting colder and that your immune system, in turn, is weaker. Because I don't know if you know how this works, but your body has to work harder to keep you warm in the winter. So when your body works harder keeping you warm, guess what it's not going to do a great job of? Fighting off that cold. All right? Why do you think people get colds in the winter? Did you think that they just, I don't know, come back from holiday? Did you think that they come back from vacation? Did you think the mucus monster comes back from Cabo on January 1st and goes, "What's up? Who's ready to fucking party? Who's ready to fucking dance?" No. Okay? Okay, so fucking PH dumbass, shut up. It's ridiculous. People, every year they do it, and it irritates the shit out of me. And if you've done it, listen, I'm not mad at you. Just acknowledge that you've done wrong in life. Acknowledge that you've made mistakes and move on. We don't need to talk about it. There's simply no reason to talk about it, and we're not going to talk about it because we don't have to. And it's fine. It's gone. It's gone with the wind. It is gone with the wind. Forget about it. Isn't that a movie about a horse who got shot in the head? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm not sure. But I've never seen the movie. Or maybe it's a book. I don't know. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I just needed to acknowledge that because that bothers me. I don't know. It was really just getting to me the other day. And, and quite honestly, should it get to me? Probably not. And I should probably work on not letting things get to me in 2022, but I'm not going to because then life wouldn't be fun. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, like really, like if I'm going to resolve my issues, why would one of them be get less angry about things? Because sure, I'm less angry. Like, this is what I always think about. I hate when people are like, you need to resolve your anger issues. You need to you need to meditate. You need to take care of your, but hear me out. Hear me out. Have you ever seen like a Zen master, like somebody who's very clearly high up in meditation, and they're just like, nothing bothers them? To me, that sounds boring. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like you just see somebody just walk in somewhere, they fucking sneeze into their hands and then they wipe it on their coat and then they go to shake your hand. And then you would just be sitting there and you'd be like, I'm one with God. I'm one with the universe. None of this bothers me. That sounds, I always want to have the urge to sucker punch that fucker in the face. I want to be like, go home, get away from me. Don't touch me. That's disgusting. Don't do this to me. And also I hate when people, and look, how I see it though is it's your fault for putting me in that position. You walk in and you want to be an idiot and sneeze in your hands. And now you got fucking, COVID in your right nostril, then Omarion variant. And then you got the flu coming out of your left nostril. You look like shit and you come out of the house and you go, I just felt like I needed to work today. Shut up. You know what's not working today? Your fucking immune system. Go home. I just hate those people. I don't understand people. Literally. Like, I don't understand the people who are so zen and so happy with life. They actually bother me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't get along with people who are a little bit too happy about something. I forget, there was a comedian that, I forget the name of them, but they put it perfectly, like better than like as good as I could put it. And they were like, I don't understand people who are so unbelievably happy all the time. Have you not looked outside? And that's how I feel, right? Like, the world is chaos. The world is crazy. Speaking of crazy, listen, 2022. This is what I want to start the podcast off with, but I got sidetracked, obviously, like usual. And so 2022, it's the new year. And quite frankly, it's been shitty so far. And you're probably thinking, you're like, Anthony, how has it been shitty? Nothing terrible has happened. And as a matter of fact, that's the problem, okay? As a matter of fact, that's actually the problem that I have with 2022 right now. Is that there's been no problems. Like, I was just listening to Tim Dillon the other day, or maybe it was today. I'm not sure. I don't remember things unless they happened 10 minutes ago, but that's not true. But I was listening to Tim Dillon and he was like, I love chaos because if there was no chaos, I wouldn't have a job. And I completely agree. I sincerely do like the chaos. Like, as much as, and a lot of people, a lot of you feel this way, but you don't want to say it, right? Like, what is it, like the past, what has it been? It's fucking January 4th. Nothing terrible has happened yet. And quite honestly, I'm kind of bored, right? What is it? Like I said, January 4th? Okay. January 6th is in 2 days. Anybody trying to have a part 2 at the Capitol? Anybody? I mean, come on, listen. I don't support it, like, politically, but I support it for content. Like, do I have to be the one to do this? Do I have to be the one to get these people all riled up? Do I got to get them riled up? I'll get them riled up for content, of course. Like, obviously, I don't want anybody to get hurt or die, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, literally, find me the Facebook group and I'll get them going in 30 minutes. I'll just hop on. I'll go in the Facebook group. I'll wear a fucking coat made of fucking bear. And I'll go on there and I'll go live on Facebook. And I'll get them going. I'll get them going quick. I'll be like, who's our president? They'll be like, Trump. And then I'll be like, what do we want? And they're like, free guns. When do we want it? Today. Fucking, what do we want? Less school. When do we want it? What's that word? I don't know. We want less school. The only learning I need is from this semi-automatic handgun. Let's march to a better year. I'll get them going simply for content. I think I could, considering most of them are in QAnon, it's probably not going to be hard to persuade them. You know what I'm saying? I could get on there. Dude, those people believe anything. Anything you tell them. It's so funny. Oh my God. I used to, when I was younger, I used to never be like, that person's stupid, because I always felt like that was me. But as I've gotten older, there's a lot of idiots like that are really fucking dumb. you know? And I'm not sitting here and pretending like, you know, like I'm Einstein. Like obviously everybody has dumb moments, but that doesn't make you a dumb person. But I'm talking about like fucking dipshits, like fucking like dead ass idiots that are just going on the internet and they're just like, did you read Pussy Lover 420's quote today on Twitter? It's beautiful. He says that like, right? Can you imagine? Like some of these people, it's crazy. They're like, did you read Pussy Catching Pokemon Trump Lover 42069 on Twitter today? He said, crazy enough, that he went inside the White House. He put a drone in there and he saw that, crazy enough, Bush is our president right now. It's not Biden or Trump, and he wears a meat suit. And Joe Biden is actually dead. And Trump is on Mars right now. And you might think that I'm crazy, like saying that, like that was like, you know, exaggerated. But the sad thing is that it really wasn't. Like that's something that they would very well believe. Like it's nuts. It's insane. It's fucking cuckoo crazy. It's fucking cuckoo crazy. Cuckoo clock, dude. It's nuts. Some of these people, they're idiots. They're stupid. They're very dumb people. But anyways, 2022 though, I hope you're having a great start to your new year. You know who probably isn't having a great start to your new year? The animals at SeaWorld. They're probably not too stoked about their life right now. SeaWorld, you filthy pricks. You thought that we were going to forget about you. Every year, SeaWorld, I know what they do. Every single year. Did you ever go on SeaWorld's, by the way? Did you ever go on SeaWorld's Instagram? Their comment section, heavily filtered or whatever it's called, censored. I don't know what the word I'm looking for right now is, but you know what I'm talking about, where you could like pick specific words that aren't allowed in there. I sat in SeaWorld's Instagram trying to type shit, you know, like killer, like whale killer. Like, dude, you can't say anything. The only thing you could do is like drop emojis, and that's literally it. So I was trying to sit there on SeaWorld's Instagram page, and I put a whale and then a skull and crossbones and then a fire and then a pool and then an eagle. I didn't even know what I was really saying, but I was putting too many emojis, and I ended up not even posting it because it looked like a bunch of absolute nonsense. But dude, SeaWorld, you know what I hate about SeaWorld is that I have absolutely no sympathy for those people whatsoever whenever they're like, you know, say it's like an animal trainer or whatever at SeaWorld. And like, it's one thing if like, not necessarily SeaWorld, but there's other places where they keep animals, but, excuse me, there's other places where they keep animals where the only reason they have the animals is because they rescued them. And if they let them back out in the wild, they would die. And that's fine. Like if you're going to keep those animals around, like you're keeping them alive and they're living a much better life than getting eaten out in the wild. Like absolutely keep those animals. And you could have people come see them and say hi to them and like, you know, pay for their support and stuff and their food. Like that's awesome. Like I love that. But SeaWorld's a different story. You know what I'm saying? Like SeaWorld, I have no sympathy for them. Like I don't remember. This was a while back, like a long time ago, I feel like. But I remember that one of the trainers got like their arm bitten off by like one of the orcas. And they were like, prayers and condolences. And I was like, yeah, I'm sending prayers and condolences to that fucking orca so that their digestive tract can put your arm through them. Okay? You fucking deserve it, right? Somebody pops on the news. They're like, local marine biologists molested by dolphin late Tuesday afternoon. I go, good for the dolphin. I go, you show them. You're going to put me in a cage? I'm going to bite your fucking toe off, you piece of shit. Like they're massive animals and they just throw them in these big tubs of water. Half the size of an Olympic swimming pool, maybe the size of an Olympic swimming pool if they're lucky, if there's like multiple of them in there. And then the fucking people at SeaWorld, dude, you'll see them on the news or something, and they're like, I don't know what made Isabella lash out. Maybe because she's a fucking 20-foot killer whale and you put her in a 40-foot tank and feed her once a day, right? Like, don't these people think about these things? They're like, I don't know what made her lash out. She's such a happy whale. Yeah, because she was plotting. She was pretending to be a happy whale. And then next thing you know, you turn around one day. Nuts. Dude, if I was one of those whales, I would have murdered everybody. I don't understand. I don't get it. SeaWorld, the animals at SeaWorld aren't having a good time. They're not having a fun year at all. They're having a very terrible year, actually. They're probably not stoked about a new year. They probably don't even know what the day is, what year it is. It's sad, man. It's sad. It's a sad thing. It's terrible. I never feel bad for the trainers. Actually, that sounds fucked up because some of the trainers are good people, but they work for shitty companies, you know? And they're like, oh, well, there was no other job. I don't know about that. It's like, well, that's my dream. Your dream is to fucking feed caged animals once a day and then have a little show with them until one day they fucking swallow you whole. Did you guys ever watch the SeaWorld documentary where they like showed, there was like one morbid thing where like one of the trainers like got eaten by a fucking orca whole. I was like, holy fuck. And then SeaWorld stayed open and people kept going. What the fuck are you talking about? Like what? Like that's, if you want to talk about how to beat cancel culture, SeaWorld does it day in and day out, dude. Day in and day out. They just show you pictures of the cute little penguins. Somebody comes in the comments section and they're like, free the whales, blocked. Blocked. They don't even have blocked. They don't even fucking hesitate. They'll delete the comment, block your account, never again. They don't want any of that fucking propaganda coming anywhere near them. It's crazy, man. That's gotta be one hell of a social media manager on fucking SeaWorld. All you gotta do is you gotta keep refreshing all day, and then when you gotta scan the comments, you post a new photo, somebody pops in there, free the whales, blocked. Blocked. Free Willy, blocked. Right? Dude, it's crazy, SeaWorld, man. All right, let's get into some current events. First and foremost, R.I.P. bad bitch Betty White. We're not making jokes here. Just R.I.P. bad bitch Betty White. That's all we're saying. Prayers up for Betty. Betty's a bad bitch. She died right before 2022 was about to begin. And thank you, Betty. Thank you, Miss Betty. Next thing. In current events. The IRS. This is real. This is 100% real. I talked about it on TikTok, but I would like to expand here. The IRS reminds thieves and drug dealers to report their income. What are you talking about? Nobody's going to tell you, IRS. Like, the IRS is just in their cubicle, like, fucking typing some shit up. They're like, these fucking idiots. This is totally going to work. Nikki! I'm recording. Quiet. Thank you. Anyways, I don't remember. IRS. Sorry. Nikki walked in. My sister. Making loud noises. So they think that some drug dealer is going to see this. And they're going to be like, oh my God, like, I want to make sure, like, they're like, it's so odd to me. Like, what do you think somebody's going to do? Huh? They're going to be like, oh, like, this is right. Like the IRS, this is like basically my impression of them. Like, they're going to be sitting there and they're like, listen, like, we don't listen. All right. We get it. You sell the drugs and the doobies and the meth and the cocaine. Okay. I've done Adderall. Okay. I've done a lot of Adderall. I'm a pretty cool guy. I like to think so. I like to party. Okay. I used to mix a little bit of Adderall with a little bit of vodka. Never done, what does it say on the sheet? Black tar heroin. That's a new one for me. Never done that one, but I love that you do it. I love that you sell it to the people, and I love that you sell it to the community. In my mind, you're a businessman, okay? Don't even listen. I know you sell drugs. Oh, it's illegal. Shh. Nobody's going to tell the DEA. The DEA, I don't even know who they are. Who's the DEA? The Drug Administration. I don't care. They're losers, right? They're a bunch of pussies over at the DEA, right? A bunch of fucking dare lovers, right? Don't do drugs. Yeah, I bet they're fun at parties. Yeah, taking all the cocaine away. Yeah, I bet they're pretty cool. Listen. The DEA, fuck them, right? But what I am seeing here is you sold like 10 tons of cocaine. Now, I'm no mathematician, but that's a substantial amount of funds there, and quite frankly, all I want is my cut. That's all I'm trying to say, right? You throw me however much you owe in taxes, and we'll pretend like this never happened, all right? We'll pretend like we never saw a thing. You know what's actually going to happen, though? You know what's actually going to happen with the whole IRS crap like this, you know what's actually going to happen? They're going to get it, and then the next day the FBI is going to be at that person's house, and they're going to be like, sir, you're arrested for possession of cocaine. He's going to be like, what are you talking about? I sold it all. And then they're going to be like, oh, okay, you're under arrest for the selling of illegal drugs. And the guy's going to be like, damn, who told you? They're going to be like, the IRS. You sent in an application saying that you sold 10 tons of cocaine and 300 bags of black tar heroin. And he goes, yeah, I was just doing my American duty, sending in the IRS. He goes, you don't fucking tell them. They're going to snitch, right? Next one. In current events, Apple reveals new feature to allow loved ones to access your personal data when you die. Never. No, stop it. What are we doing? No. You're going to let my family, right? Say God forbid, I die terribly, right? When I'm young. And you're going to tell me that my family then gets to go, oh, let's see what's in Anthony's camera roll. No. Don't go in there. It's a dark place. Oh, let's look at his notes app. No. Who thought that this was a good idea at Apple? Huh? Who thought that this was a good idea? This is a terrible idea. And I get it. They're probably thinking in future terms of like, oh, maybe they had some fun pictures on there of like you together that you want to be able to get out. Or like maybe like you had like some fun, maybe text messages that you accidentally deleted, but they might still be on their phone. That's cool, but let's just keep that in our memories, okay? Let's not open it up, right? Because if you think about it, right, you're going to be like, oh, Grandpa died, but at least we still have his phone. Let's look through some of his pictures. Next thing you know, turns out Gramps was hooking up with a 35-year-old in Queens. And Grandma didn't know about this. So Gramps, all of a sudden, it turns from a celebration of life to Gramps is kind of a deadbeat. And you don't need that. You need the happy thoughts of Grandpa, right? You need Grandpa. You want you want him pushing you on the swing. You want him, coming to your Little League games. You don't want to know that he had racketeering charges in '98, do you? You don't want to know that. You don't want to know that him and Grandma did BDSM until they were 95. That's disgusting. You don't want to know those things. Also, our generation. Think about it. A lot of people in this generation, what do they have on their phones? Pictures of their penises. Imagine your grandpa dies, and then you open up his phone, and you go, God, I can't wait to see all the beautiful memories. And then you just see your grandpa's cock. You see his cock, and you go, God damn it. Maybe this feature isn't so great. Look, I get the positives behind it, but there's too many negatives to give this clearance. There's too many negatives. I'm not going to give my family clearance, okay? No way. No way, Jose. Absolutely not. And that's not to say that I wouldn't want anybody to go through my phone because it's gross, disgusting, and weird. I personally don't think it really is. But the only problem here is that if you look into my search history enough, you're going to start to know a little bit too much about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to start to know things that I would prefer people didn't know. Okay? Like, I look a lot of things up. And sometimes when you look a few of those things up together, it adds up being something that, is a little bit weird and a little bit odd and a little bit concerning, right? Like, I'm going through these things, and to quote the great Nick Miller from New Girl, when he didn't want people to go through his phone, he goes, I'm not building a bomb. I was just curious. And quite honestly, I've looked that up a time or two. I'm not going to lie. Like, things like that. Like, how do you make a hand grenade? I don't want a hand grenade, but I'm just curious. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes that curiosity gets the best of me, and I would prefer my family didn't know a lot of things about me, I like them not knowing. Even when I'm dead, I don't want people to know, And I get it that people are like, but you're dead, who cares? I care. I do. I care. Absolutely I care. 100%. 100%. I don't know. I just think it's a weird, right? I just think we shouldn't do it, And especially, and I know that you're thinking like, oh, well, Anthony, someone who's 95 probably doesn't know how to work a phone, and they're probably not going to be able to have an affair. And you know what? You're probably right. But you know who does know how to work a phone? Your 35-year-old cousin who loves motorcycles. Or actually, let's backtrack. How about your 50-year-old dad who likes motorcycles? And one day he wasn't wearing a helmet. Sad story. Boom, hits a lamppost. Gone forever. Now you're sitting there, you're thinking, Dad, would I love to go through his phone? Then you open his phone, Bumble, Tinder, Grindr. Dad was gay? Why did nobody tell me? Now you think your dad's gay. Maybe your dad is gay. Your mom didn't know he was gay. Then you start going through his phone a little bit more. You start going through his text messages, his search history, his flights. Turns out these aren't business meetings. Turns out he has a second family in Peru that he sees 6 months out of the year, but he calls them business trips. So now you're sitting there as your dad, who has a gay lover in Peru, is now dead. And now what are you going to do? You're going to meet this family? But that's a little bit too forward because they don't know. What do they think? Do they think that he was just on a motorcycle here for some reason in a business meeting and then he crashed into a lamppost? Did this family know? Does this family know that he also has a second family in Chicago and he has another family in Peru and he's also maybe a little bit in organized crime with the mafia, and then all of a sudden you're like, what? Who is this person? That's why you don't open somebody's phone. You just leave it as is. And you don't open the blank page. You don't open the slate, right? Because you don't want to know that your dad was cheating on your mom with a gay lover in Peru. Or that your gay parents, one of your dads, was cheating on your dad with some bitch in Chicago. You don't want to know either of those things. So let's stop, Apple. Let's stop and let's take a breath. And I get it. You want to be innovative. I get it. Let's work on a longer battery life. Let's work on practical things. HelloFresh. More like, hello, these meals are absolutely fantastic. It's so unbelievably fresh that I want to shove them in my mouth. Listen, HelloFresh. Anthony, what is HelloFresh? I've never heard of this. Oh my God, you must be living under a rock. Let me tell you what HelloFresh is. Well, with HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip trips to the grocery store and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. And that's why it's America's #1 meal kit. Look, the new year is a great time to focus on what's important to you, whether it's saving money by ordering less takeout, learning to cook, or prioritizing your wellness. HelloFresh is here to help with endless options to make cooking at home simple and enjoyable. Listen, a lot of you maybe you have that New Year's resolution. You tell yourself you're going to go to the gym more. You're going to do these things, but then you get out of the gym and you keep shoving that McDonald's down your throat. You know what I'm saying? You get home, you eat the candy bars, you eat whatever crap is left in the fridge. That's not helping. You might be working out 4 hours a day. That's not going to matter when you're shoving down Big Macs and Big Doubles and all the mix right down the esophagus. So what you need is HelloFresh. You're thinking, but Anthony, it's so difficult for me to sit there and make food. I never know what I want. Shh. HelloFresh picks it for you, sends it to your damn door. You don't even have to think. You just got to fire up the little stove, maybe throw it in the microwave, maybe throw it in the oven, bam, right into your delectable little mouth. HelloFresh cuts back on time spent in the kitchen so you could spend it on your other resolutions with meals ready in around 30 minutes or less. That's unbelievable. I'll spend some times in the kitchen when I'm trying to make some healthy foods. You get the greens, you get the chicken. Now I got to cut the chicken. Now I got to cook the chicken. Now, wait a minute. Is the chicken cooked enough? Is it not cooked enough? I don't know what's going on. Next thing I know, I spent an hour and a half and I haven't eaten lunch yet. So HelloFresh, they make it easy. They make it simple, 30 minutes or less. They send it right to your door. It's simple, it's easy, and it's efficient. Okay? Plus, on top of it all, you're thinking, Anthony, but this has got to be super expensive. HelloFresh is 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal of the same damn quality. And you could save, on average, over $65 per month when you order HelloFresh instead of grocery shopping. That's more money to put toward those other 2022 goal of yours. More money to put towards that gym membership. More money put towards whatever else you want to do in your little life. So listen here. HelloFresh, they sent me some things. I'm not going to lie to you. I was a little bit skeptical at first. I go, what are they all about? What are they doing here? Is it really hello, we're fresh? And it is. It's absolutely, honestly, blown away by the quality of it, by how good it is, and how healthy it is for me. And the best thing about it is that I feel so much better after I eat it. Because I'll go home and maybe I'll make some chicken nuggets after the gym. I feel like a piece of shit.
I feel like a loser, and I feel like I'm just putting terrible things into my body. But when I get home, grab the HelloFresh, maybe get some nice chicken, some kale, some spinach, and I'm like, oh my God, I feel wonderful and I feel amazing about myself. And it only took me 30 minutes or less. 30 minutes or less. Are you hearing me? 30 minutes or less. So listen to me right now. Go to HelloFresh.com/cause16 and use code cause16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. 16 free meals. Gee, I'm going to have to use this code. I might use my code. Once again, go to HelloFresh.com/cause16 and use code cause16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. I just need you to hear that twice so that it really sinks to the old noggin there. I highly encourage you to check out HelloFresh, not just because I've had it and I love it, but because also I want you to have it and love it, and because it's America's #1 meal kit, so you know you're getting quality stuff. So anyways, go check it out. Quit wasting your time and go say hello to fresh new foods right at your doorstep every damn day. That's what I always feel. Apple does this all the time. They like barely change the phone and add some abstract out of the box feature that probably took them 6 months to build. And then they make that the staple of the new iPhone, right? Like they're like, we're like longer battery life. They're like, you want a fingerprint scanner, don't you? And we're like, no, we don't. Like, it actually takes me less than 2 seconds to type in my number. And they're like, well, now you could buy shit with your finger. And I go, that sounds, I would prefer if you didn't do that, because I'm going to just buy a lot of shit. And I not mean to buy it just because my finger was on the home button. And they're like, I get it. And we're like, thank you. And then the next iPhone comes out and we're like, listen, did you give us the longer battery life? And maybe a smaller phone? And they're like, actually, we tripled the size of the phone. It is the size of a small car tire. And it has facial recognition. And we go, what the, are you even listening to us? What are you talking about? What do you mean it's the size of a car tire? It can't even fit in my pocket. And they go, how did we not think of that? We'll regroup. And then they come back the next year and they go, we figured it out. And we go, you finally figured out a longer battery life? They're like, we made a phone the size of a pencil. And I go, how the fuck am I supposed to use this shit? And they go, you could talk and call, and that's it. And I go, and how much is it? They go, $37,000. I go, what? Take my money, please. That's what they do. Apple, they never focus on the actual goal that's going to progress society in the correct direction. They never focus on practical goals that are actually going to help people. What's like another one that was really stupid? Oh my God, with the Apple Watch, where like originally when they first released the Apple Watch, there was a default setting on there where if you fell down too hard, it immediately called 911. Why? I fall a lot. Okay? That doesn't mean that I need medical assistance. It just means I'm a clumsy fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, I fall down. I've fallen down the stairs more than I would like to admit, but none of those times have I been like, please, Apple Watch, call the police department. Like, this is, or, call the fire department, because I broke my ass. I broke my ass falling down these stairs. Never. It's just literally, all I'm waiting for is for them to come out with actually genuinely useful features. And like, listen, am I part of the problem? Yeah, because I just keep buying their fucking phones with I just buy them. What am I going to do? Buy a Samsung? An Android? Oh my God. I might as well just get a rope and hang myself from the ceiling fan. Come on. Jeez, man. Samsungs are actually built better. Yeah, cool, man. Good for you. I heard Teslas are built well too, but I'm not a fucking nerd. Actually, I heard Teslas are built terrible, but that's beside the point. That's the same. Anybody who has an Android are the same people that like fight for their life in the comments for their Prius. Or no, for their Kia Soul. Anybody who has an Android are the same people that fight for their life who has like a Kia Soul. They'll be in the comments and you'll be like, dude, this car sucks. They're like, actually it gets fantastic gas mileage. And it's actually like very roomy. Cool, man. The car looks like a literal lunchbox. The car looks like it came out of a fucking shitty cartoon from 2004. And they're like, well, it gets great gas mileage and it fits a lot of my knickknacks and gadgets. And at that moment, if you ever anybody say knickknacks and gadgets, you punch them in the throat and walk away, because that is not allowed. Never allowed. Oh, these are just my knickknacks. These are just my knickknacks. Karate chop. These are just my knickknacks. Kick to the throat. Shut up. I'm sick of it. And it's the same thing with Android, right? They're like, it's actually a pretty high performing phone for the price that you get. Cool, man. Try going up to a bar, getting somebody's number, being like, hey, put your number in my phone. And they're going to be like, is that a Samsung? And you're going to be like, yeah. And they're going to throw a drink in your face and then tase you in your nuts. And they're going to be like, get the fuck out of my face. That's what's going to happen. Do we have anything else in current events? Let's see here. Oh, this one really didn't like. Paralyzed man sends first tweet using brain chip. Amazing for the paralyzed man. I think for the paralyzed community and people who are like in the same position as, why am I blanking? Stephen Hawking, right? Anybody who's in that position to have a brain chip, major improvement on life. Nobody's putting a chip in my head. Want to know why? Because if all of my thoughts became tweets, I would be in a federal prison. If all of my thoughts that came to fruition in my head were sent into the fucking abyss that is Twitter, I would be in prison and possibly put on trial for the death sentence. I'm not even kidding. Also, I would be, if all of my thoughts got sent to Twitter, I would be under 24/7 surveillance, right? Because, and I'm sure a lot of you too, right? The intrusive thoughts, right? They just pop into the head. Like, I'll just be sitting somewhere, maybe on a bench in a park, enjoying myself. And then in my head, I'm like, what if I pulled out an assault rifle and shot this kid in the head? Like, I don't want to do that, but it's not my fault that it pops into my head. Like, I don't ever want to do that. Like, I'm not a violent person by any means. I don't even really, to be honest with you, I don't even really like guns that much. It's not that I'm like against guns or anything like that. I'm just not a gun guy, right? But for some reason, the intrusive thoughts get in my head. I can control the thoughts that are going on in my head nonstop all the time, zing, zang, bing, bang, boom, all the way around the walls of my brain. I can't control them, and there's really nothing much that I could do about them. So I don't want a brain chip in me. That sounds dangerous, right? All of my thoughts are thrown into some server? No, dude. Absolutely not. We all know those thoughts that we have that we don't really agree with, but they come into our head. And if somebody else knew that we were having those thoughts, we wouldn't have a lot of friends left. Or maybe that's just me. Right? I'd be under 24/7 surveillance, right? Because I'll be like watching a movie and someone kills himself in the movie. In my head, I'm like, how could they have done this easier? Or if I was in that position, how would I have done it? And then like, there would be somebody at my door being like, are you okay? I'm fine. I'm fine. I just have these terrible thoughts, Like, that's just how it is. Nobody's putting a brain chip in my head. I don't want anybody knowing. I don't want anybody to know what's going on in the old noggin. That's a dangerous game they're playing. Listen, I might be saying this now, but in 20 years, maybe everybody's going to have a brain chip. And is it going to make everybody smarter? I don't know. I mean, inherently it will, but at that point, are we too smart? You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I feel like we might get to a point where we're too smart for our own good. Or maybe not, honestly, either, because there's some really stupid people. That's, there's some idiots out there, I don't care how many brain chips you put in the fucking QAnon people. They're not changing. They're just going to become more powerful. They're just going to get more knowledge and become more deranged. They're going to be like, actually, turns out Biden's not the president. It turns out the president is an alien from the sun, sent by Jesus Christ, and queened and knighted by King Harry III, and is a member of Mafia Shore. But yeah, no brain chips. That's a dangerous game. Let's stop playing it. Obviously, for the people who are paralyzed and things like that don't have the ability to write and or possibly speak, because all of your muscles might be at a point where you're not able to obviously even speak because you know what I'm saying. And I think that's awesome for the paralyzed. If you're somebody who's paralyzed or, other disabilities that this brain chip might help, I think that's awesome. But in terms of people who are just, regular everyday people, which I would say is 90% of society, we don't need brain chips. We do not need brain chips whatsoever. Thank you, Elon. I appreciate what you're trying to do, but I'm not sticking a chip in my brain until Elon's got one in his little noggin, right? That's a little bit suspicious. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Like, we want to push the future forward and things like that. And Elon's like, well, brain chips are a great idea. If they're such a good idea, stick one in your noggin, you filthy fuck. Think about that. Let's keep moving here. NASA recently hired theologians or theologians. I'm not 100% sure how you exactly pronounce that word, but we're going to say theologians. Hires theologians to predict how humans would react to aliens. How are you going to do that? How are you going to predict how people react? They're in contact with aliens. That feels like proof to me. That's proof enough to me. Like, why do you feel the need to predict? Is there some information that you're deciding that you're going to release? Is that what you're doing? I honestly hope aliens come soon. Because we're going down such a shithole right now, and like shit's hitting the fan left and right. Like, I sincerely hope that aliens come down and they're like, hey, fucking, the fuck is this? Right? That's what I want. I want some alien to stand at the podium at some presidential speech. He fucking karate chops Biden off the podium, and he goes, what the fuck is going on here? Everybody's looking. They're like, what the? They're like, is that an alien? He's like, the thing or whatever, they might not even have a gender. I've talked about this before. Maybe aliens just don't even have anything, like, at all. Like, they're just smooth, no holes in them at all. Not even to speak. They just speak out of vibrations. I don't know. Who knows? But I would just find it very, very funny if an alien came down, and I just want him to knock Biden off the podium and be like, fucking get your shit together. Are you going to fucking kill yourselves? All of you. The world's going to explode in 10 years, right? Also, honestly, I don't even think that would help. Like all the people that don't believe in climate change. I honestly don't think that even an alien would get to those people. Like, I think like an alien could come down and be like, you need to stop driving your car or you're going to die in 10 years. And those people will be like, this is alien propaganda. This is clearly some liberal bullshit out of a spaceship. Like I still feel like there's going to be those people. But I do think, like, what are they predicting? I want to be one of these people in these trials. Like, they're going to be like, they're going to predict how humans would react. They're going to react probably, they're probably going to freak out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why you need theologians. I don't know. You don't need somebody with a PhD to tell you that if a UFO came flying down and crashed in somebody's front yard, how they would react. Okay? I'll tell you how they would react. They're going to shit their pants. And then if they like guns, they're going to walk outside with their shotgun. And if they don't like guns, they're going to walk outside with a peace offering. And that's the only option. The only option. Last thing here, we're moving on to questions with Kaz. First question, thoughts on Australia and our spiders? This seemed so stupid to the point that I felt like I needed to add this in. We're going to look at this spider together. If you're watching on YouTube, it'll be up on the screen. I'm going to look it up. Australian. Like, what's so special about these spiders? I've never been to Australia. I'm just curious as to see. Let's look at the images. So I think, holy fuck! Oh my god! Oh my god! Dude, that's not real. Oh my god! Holy shit! That's the spider that bit Peter, man. Holy hell. Dude, I'm never going to Australia. I'm so sorry for all my Australian listeners. I can't go there anymore. I was really excited to like one day in the future do stand up in Australia. I'm never going. I'm sorry. I can't go. You're gonna have to come to like somewhere in Europe or like somewhere in the US or like Canada or somewhere. You're gonna have to go to a different country. You're gonna have to go to a different continent. Okay, you're gonna have to go to a different continent. This thing is the size of a bowling ball and then that doesn't even look. This looks, you know, those big ass spiders. If you're not from Australia, like all the Australian listeners are probably, they're like, yeah, like that's how big they are. They're probably being like, yeah, you fucking moron. Like, we have massive spiders. You should have known this. You're right. I should have known this. But for all of you that are wondering and listening and not looking, obviously, and saw the photo on YouTube, it's, you know, those fake spiders for Halloween that they put out that are like probably about 3 feet by 3 feet. And you're like, that's so funny how exaggerated that is. That's the size of this spider. That's the size of this spider. I don't even want it. You have to like kill. If you stepped on this thing, it wouldn't die. You like genuinely need a gun. Like you like dead ass need a gun. Like this is insane. Australian spider. Oh, let's look at the webs. What do the webs look like? I'm sorry. What? They're called spiderweb blankets because they cover entire fields. Dude, if this spider was in Charlotte's Web, that would be a completely different movie. That spider would have just murdered everybody, and then that little pig would have gone free. That would have been a 5-minute movie. It would have been, right? Because initially, Charlotte's Web, she's trying to talk to the pig, and he's like, where are you? And she's like, I'm a fucking spider. And he's like, I couldn't see you. You're so little. But then the Australian spider's like, fucking... Where are these people? They want to kill you? I'll kill them. I'll spray them with my webs. They're not going to live. Next question. Safest amount of pets a normal person can have at once? I would say if I met somebody and if you live alone and you have more than one animal, you're insane. Like that's okay. I hate to say it. I've said it. I said this a while ago. I think it was in a YouTube video. And listen, if you have 3, 4, 5 dogs, right? I have 1 dog. That's a lot of work. If you have 3, 4, 5 dogs, is it because your love life is lacking? Is it because you're a little bit lonely? It is. You don't have to answer it. It is. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. It is. It's because you're alone and you're afraid and you're scared about the world. Listen, get rid of a few dogs, right? Now, I'm not saying you have to get rid of this. I'm not saying don't get rid of your dogs. If you have 5 dogs right now, that's awesome. But when they kick the bucket, do not get more. You walk around, you're like, why does nobody want to date me? It's because you have 5 Great Danes in your living room. Okay, you have 5 horses living inside of your house. If I walked into somebody's house and I saw 5 Great Danes, I'd walk out. I wouldn't stay. I would not. They go, stay for supper. I go, I'm not even going to stay for this conversation. Goodbye. I'm calling an Uber. I'm flying away from you far, far away. They're going to be like, they're going to be trying to call my number. I'm going to change my number, change the locks on my house. These people scare me, right? You got to think about it, right? All these people that have a lot of pets, they think that they're just happy with these pets, but then they realize, think about it. How's your love life doing? Probably not too great. If every breakup you have results in you buying another animal, that's a problem. Obviously, I'm not saying you could have multiple animals if it's different. Like you could have a dog and a fish and a cat. Like that's fun. That's an exciting thing. I don't know how you're going to keep up with it, but that's cool because the cat will do its own thing. The fish does its own thing. You just got to feed it or whatever. And the dog, that's kind of like your main pet. But if you have like 3 dogs, 2 cats, 5 macaws, and a tarantula, I'm going to fucking leave your house. That's insane. That's insane. Okay? If you have also, listen, I'm sorry if this is you, but if you own like a snake, I can't be friends with you. Like that's fucking weird. That's really weird that you have a snake. There's so many animals in the world and you landed on snake. So many other fluffy options. Bunny, rabbit, a dog, a cat, a chinchilla, a flying squirrel, a sugar glider, you know? So many other options. And you go, that python's kind of cute. I kind of want to snuggle up next to it. Why? I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It bothers me, sincerely. It really does. It's weird, and I don't like it at all. I hate it, and it's odd, and it makes me upset. And you people terrify me. So one, I would say, there's limits to each pet, obviously, but at the end of the day, yeah, that's it. That's it on that. I'm done talking about it. All right. Next thing. Thoughts on chameleons? Not a big chameleon guy. Not a huge chameleon guy, not a big reptile guy in general. I don't like things that need to shed their skin. It's weird and it bothers me and it's disgusting, right? Like like everybody doesn't want a dog. They're like, I don't want to pick up the poop. Yeah, okay, well your fucking python sheds its entire layer of outer skin. That's even grosser. I'd rather pick up my dog's filthy diarrhea in the fucking driveway than instead of fucking picking up. Oh my God, I have a story for you. Crazy fucking story here, actually. Speaking of my dog, Coda, I was taking him to go to get a haircut. And before we went, I was in the yard. I was like, listen, buddy, I talked to him like he's like he understands English. I know he doesn't, but I like to talk to him like that because it's fun and enjoyable for me. And I go to him and I go, listen, buddy, you're going to go to the haircut place, right? You're going to get your haircut. You're going to be there for like 6 hours. It's going to be a long day for you. Maybe you want to get out your business, get out, take a pee, take a shit, whatever you got to do, you do it. He only took a pee. And I go, is that it? And he looks at me like I'm insane, obviously, because he doesn't know English. And then I throw him in the leash, put him in the car. We drive there, and we're walking down the sidewalk, and he sees, he's been there enough to the point where, like, if he sees the front door of it and, like, the other dogs inside, because, like, there's glass, you could see through. You could see some other dogs, like, them cutting them, like, it's glass, like, it's see-through. And he sees it, and he sees the door, and it was, like, almost instinctively. He embarrassed me in front of the people who worked at the dog grooming place. He literally, he notices that he's like 2 steps from the door, and he goes, oh fuck, I'm going to be here for a while. Middle of the sidewalk, drops, takes a shit. He's never done that. He stops. It's almost like he saw where he was about to go, and he goes, oh shit, they don't have a bathroom in there. Done. Just fucking shit. It just stops mid-walk, shits on the sidewalk. And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? What the fuck just happened? And then I had to walk in there, and they were like, how's Coda? I go, he's good. Listen, crazy story. Funny enough, you're going to love this. The dog, he just shit outside. I don't know why he did. Do you have a baggie? And they had to go in the back and get me a baggie because I didn't have one, obviously, because I wasn't expecting him to take a shit in the middle of the sidewalk outside of the grooming place. And it was embarrassing, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. And what was the question we were even on? Oh, chameleons? Fuck them. I don't really care. I don't have much on them. I don't like if you change colors that often. Okay? Everybody wants to talk about two-faced. What about six-faced? What about blue-faced, baby? Yeah, aight? Yeah, aight? That was the whitest shit that ever came out of my mouth. Listen, fuck chameleons, fuck your mom, fuck your dad, fuck you, and I love you. Thanks for listening to the podcast. We're going to end it there. Go sub to the YouTube podcast on YouTube if you want to watch the video. Go rate and review on Apple and on Spotify. They let you do that now, so go run up those numbers because we're coming for Joe Rogan's throat. So go drop some reviews on Spotify and Apple. Rate it. Other than that, we're going to end every episode like we always do with 2 claps and a Ric Flair. So can I get 2 claps?